Right, so I've just got this Micra to do. Think, yeah, it will be. I did a wheel bearing on it not so long ago. It might be, a few years ago now, a rear wheel bearing. So that should be on my YouTube channel somewhere as a video for pressing the old one and pressing the new one in. So I did rear shoes, front pads and discs. Wheel cylinders were alright on this not so long ago, and I checked it over last weekend. So this weekend it's just oil and filter, fluid check and top up, and I've just done the side light bulbs on it because they were blown. If they'll come on, yeah. So they're working. They're a bit of a pain in the bum where the Micra ones sit, because they sit behind there. But there are fins, if you like, for doing them. That one's the harder one. This one's a bit easier, this one. So they just twist. So the fins are like that on that one. And it locks in place. So they're done. Oil's draining. I've already changed the oil filter. Done the front pads and discs on the 107. So the pads and discs off that 107 that I put the engine in. I'm going to have to get a GoPro camera or something, or an action camera or something, just so I can video these without using my phone all the time. So yeah, they're a bit knackered, these. Obviously they were seized on the hub, so we had to knock them off with a hammer. It's quite a big lip on the disc as well, so they were making a noise as you were moving anyway, because it looks as though someone's just chucked a set of pads on without actually measuring the discs to see if they were good. So you can see how thin that back edge is. So they've been done. Got me master cylinder yesterday on me dinner, because there's a scrapyard next door. So I've got the master cylinder for that. So I'll try that. I've got some new brake fluid as well. Clutch kit and a drop link for Peugeot 207, the 1.6 petrol. So yeah, so I'll get this Micra done. Right, I've got the Micra back in again. So I did the oil and the filter on it. It was a few weeks ago now. And then start of this week, last week in January, sorry, start of the week in February, he's reversing off his drive and his coil spring's broken in 3 pieces, like a lot of the K12 Micras and the E11 notes. They all suffer from coil springs, front and rear. So left that soaking in oil. So I'll take that off. I've got the new spring. I've got to be careful. So pin, or the 2 bolts that hold the shock absorber onto the hub is the bolt 17mm nut and bolt. Wire brush them first. Apply lubricating oil on them. The only problem with these is the drop links. When aftermarket ones have been fitted, they usually don't have the 14mm nut at the back, or the holding point. So you have to use mole grips. So just be careful. Try and not rip the boot, and you can get away with it. Obviously, if you do, you do. It wants a new one then, or just when it starts knocking. But that's up to you anyway. So yeah, I'll put the spring on and I'll bring you back. Sorry about not doing it once it was on the compressor, spring compressor. It's all done now. Ride height's the same now. Usually, or some people say change springs in pairs because you'll end up with one weaker than the other. But if it's just after Christmas and depends on your finances, some people prefer just to get one spring, and then when the other goes, it's not much of a, you know, like a shock paying for things and other bits and pieces like that. So you just wanted the one doing, which I'm okay with. If there's any questions on it, just ask. There's 3 30mm bolts at the top. You've got to take the scuttle panel and the wipers off on these. You can get away with doing it on them, just a bit more fiddly, it's not worth it. And you can on the E11 notes as well. You can get away without taking the scuttle panel off on them to do the coil springs. Bit more fiddly, but it's easier than taking the scuttle panel off. Any questions, just let me know. Yeah.